In India, the narrative around insurance is created ki buy insurance and sit back and relax. You don't have to worry because the insurance premiums that you're paying will take care of the future instabilities that you might face in different sectors. So basically, life insurance, relating to life insurance, the famous line says, Zindagi ke saath bhi, zindagi ke baad bhi. So basically, you take the life insurance, you pay the premiums, and your loved ones will be taken care of even after you are gone from this world. Then comes the health insurance. Health insurance says that, okay, once you're insured, you are happily safeguarded and happily insured. So you don't have to worry, you're safe. And once you take health insurance, your medical needs will be taken care of. In spite of this, the Indian insurance customers are worrying about a certain number of things currently. So basically, in case of health insurance, even the companies are facing issues like a decline in the customer base since 2023. Now, why is this decline taking place? Is it due to people losing trust in the health insurance industry, or there are certain other factors which are coming into picture? Let's focus on that and let's see how it is going. So, firstly, when we talk of health insurance, they are making headlines in the format of are Indians being priced out? So, are the health insurance companies charging a very high premium to Indian customers such that it has become out of their reach? So, first of all, if we see the health insurance jitters that Indians are facing, the very important thing that they're facing right now is high premiums. Now, if you see the GST levy is 18% on the health insurance. So it comes to nearly 1/5 of the entire price of what you're paying for your premium. Then this is not just the case of tax, but also there is a rise in the basic premiums that the insurance companies are charging. So the basic price of premium increases and automatically 18% is added on it as GST. And so the premium goes so the premium rises to a great extent. So what has happened because of this is that premiums in the recent time periods have nearly doubled to what were existing in the pre-COVID periods. So if you see an example for this particular high premium case, floater insurance cover of, let's say, 10 lakh rupees. This was what earlier people used to buy at in pre-COVID periods for around 50,000 of premium per annum. Now the same thing comes at a cost of nearly 1 lakh rupees. Plus, you will also have to pay 18,000, that is 18% of GST on this particular 1 lakh. So total price package of that premium insurance for your family will go to around 1 lakh 18,000 per year, which is quite high, right? Anybody would think twice before paying this kind of a premium, isn't it? Not just this, now the other important problem that the Indians are facing is about rejection of their policies. So rejection of their claims, basically, when they are claiming some amounts at the time of hospitalization. Imagine your loved one or anybody of your family is being hospitalized, and you are relying on your health insurance premiums which you are paid already for the purpose of the amount to be paid to the hospital, and your claim is rejected. You will be in a basic problem because maybe you have not arranged for that much of liquid cash right now immediately, because you are relying, okay, say health insurance premium to le liya hai, health insurance policy to le li hai, so what is the problem now? So relying on that health insurance policy, probably you have neglected the cash savings that should have been done. So rejection of premiums takes place in a number of cases. Now many claims get rejected because of the lack of coverage of the disease itself. So you may have bought a wrong policy sometimes, that you bought a policy, a health insurance policy, which does not does not cover any kind of cardiac issues. It does not cover maybe cancer. It doesn't cover any specified diseases about kidney. So this could be the case where your premium which you're paying towards your health insurance policy is not covering, that policy is not covering the disease which you have actually incurred right now. Then cashless claims are not basically not available in certain cases. So you may have to pay the amount first and then you're reimbursed. So in such cases, obviously, you're going to face a problem at the time of the health emergency when you actually need the cash. So at critical times, you will not be covered by your health insurance sometimes. So these could be the cases when your claim is rejected, or your claim is maybe approved, but you don't get cash immediately because you're not having the cashless system in that hospital, or you don't have the cashless policy itself. Then there would be critical times which you are facing right now because you don't have the cash, the liquidity in hand to pay off the amount for the uncovered hospital bills. Now, if you look at the other side, there is a new tax regime which has come up, and because of this new tax regime, the tax benefits that were earlier existing in the old tax regime under Section 80D, where you could claim the amount of premium paid as a deduction from your incomes in that year, are no longer claimable in the new tax regime. So the new tax regime is basically not having the benefit of the reduction of this premium which is paid. So obviously you are paying the premium also, plus you are also going to pay the income tax. Of course, the income tax rates and the total income tax has come down because of the new tax regime for certain number of people, but everybody doesn't get the benefit. So obviously you're going to pay a larger amount of, you can say you're paying premium, but you're not getting the tax benefit, and hence you feel that your premium amount which is paid off is going to come to a higher side. Now, how does insurance work? I mean, if you're looking at the insurance companies and their profitability, insurance companies are basically charging premiums, right? So every year, let's suppose we take an example of 1,000 premium in a year, and 100 people are buying that insurance. So total collection comes to 1 CR. Now, of this, the incurred claim ratio, that means actual claims which people are making towards that particular company, does not mean 100%. Like, you don't, everybody who is paying the premium does not claim the amount in that year, isn't it? So 55% is normally considered as the income incurred claim ratio, ICR. And so your remainder amount of 45 lakhs, which is from that 1 crore which was collected, is in the hands of the insurance company, where they can meet up with their costs, where they can pay off their operating costs, or they can also keep this as a reserve for the purpose of amounts to be paid ahead. Sometimes they may also pay this off as profits, as dividends to the shareholders. So overall, you can see that the insurance is collecting premiums from you. They are earning huge profits. Even if we see that wrong claims are passed of 5 to 6%, still the company gets a lot of benefit in terms of monetary ups and profits in that case. Now, when people have looked at the entire situation and scenario that is happening currently because of the payment of high premiums and not being able to get the benefits, what they have resorted to, they have thought about is, let's pick up some alternate sources of funding our health. So health is an important concern, and most of the Indians earlier also used to save a lot because they were concerned about the health and emergencies. Currently, people are resorting to insurance, and so they feel that they don't need to save so much. But actually, if you see these alternate sources and if you see the health insurance premiums you're paying, you would be surprised to see certain facts which probably you have never thought of. So let's take this as an example. So let's say you pay a premium of 1 lakh per annum, right, towards your health insurance cover. Now, assuming that you are losing returns on this particular premium every year, you lose 10% returns, right? Obviously, you're losing 10% returns at the rate of 10% if you're putting this money in mutual funds and SIPs, which on an average give you 10%. Sometimes they may give you even more, 15%, 20% returns. But we are assuming 10%, right? If we take the compound value of this investment of 1 lakh for 10 years at the rate of 10%, so you're investing monthly, let's say in an SIP of 8 if you're investing monthly in an SIP, then obviously you would get an interest amount on it, and which you would be surprised to know that what is the result of this particular investment. Total amount that comes to is nearly 15 lakh 93,000. So it's nearly 16 lakh rupees that you will get at the end of 10th year if you keep investing 1 lakh every year. So basically, this is a very important thing to note, that your premium, which you're paying for how many years you keep paying. Now, obviously, if you paid the premium and immediately there was a hospitalization, then the benefit is different. But normally, if we see 50% of the cases, you don't have this kind of claim. Most of the cases, you have a time frame where you can invest and basically reap the benefits of it. Even if you don't use it for hospitalization, this amount has actually gone to 16 lakh rupees, isn't it? So if in 10 years you didn't claim at all, then you are having in hand 16 lakh rupees, which is not possible in the case of a health insurance premium paid. Once the premium paid, no claim is done, it's gone, right? So this is the benefit if you put this money in alternative sources of finance. Second example we can also take, if we are not talking of 10% returns. If you say I am a very conservative person and I will put the entire money in FDs, and let's say only a 6% return is got in 10 years. So even if you get 6% return and you compound this value year on year, then you will get 13 lakh rupees. So you will always be in plus, right? In an extra value will always be added to the premium amount if you put this money in the alternative sources. So remember to make a very sane and a proper choice when you're paying the health insurance. So instead of paying the health insurance premium, people also today are thinking about investing the same money in alternative sources of finance, which can give you the returns when needed. So there are many liquid funds also where you can immediately withdraw at the time of health emergencies. You don't have to wait. Like fixed deposit is the best option, right? So even if you put enough FD, you are getting more. And if you pay the premium, as I told you, the premium is gone. It's a dead cost. It's like a cost which is gone away. You're not going to get any benefit if you don't claim. And at the same time, it is also noticed these days that hospitals charge more. There are also disclosures of many frauds which have happened in the claim process. So people who have got admitted to the hospitals, they have found this kind of verdict, these kind of wordings which they hear. You will be asked whether you have insurance policy when you get admitted to a hospital. Big hospitals specifically ask you, do you have a health insurance policy? Now, out of goodwill and out of a good gesture, you say, yeah, I have a health insurance policy. You feel proud because yes, I'm covered. And they will also ask you, how much cover do you have in the health insurance policy? Like a layman, you would just answer, okay, 10 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs, whatever. So you would be answering them, and you are actually giving them a clue that how much you can spend, right? So there were many frauds and many cases which have been noticed in the past, and there was a lot ample coverage also given in newspapers about this, where they have talked about the prolonged treatments. Admit times have been increased, and sometimes even extra treatments which were not required were added on to the patients. So patients had to suffer unnecessarily. I mean, the cost is one part, but even your suffering when you're hospitalized, when you're facing with a health emergency, is equally important. So you will be facing prolonged treatments, unnecessary delays. Admit time is increased because they want to show increase in the cost, and sometimes even extra treatments are given which may not be in the line of treatment. So if this is happening, then the health insurance premium which you've paid will be in a complete mess, in a loss, because you are facing so much of difficulty on your health front. Now, health front is very important. Even if the money gone, a little bit extra gone is fine, but if your health is facing issues and complications because you have a policy, then it is not worth. These kind of incidents, I'm sure those who are watching this particular video also may have faced in some time period of their life. May have faced or may have heard their relatives or friends and family speaking about this kind of a treatment from hospitals, where they had they had health insurance, so they were admitted for a longer period. They had to face complications. They had a longer waiting period, some extra treatments. They definitely will tell you, you may have heard of these kind of things for sure. So that's the main reason. I mean, these were the main reasons why people are currently switching over to alternative means. You too may have to think about whether you should buy health insurance or whether you should switch to these alternative means, because health insurance may not give you the total coverage whatever is required, right? The first important point you should remember is you should be paying the right amount of premium. So as I told you with examples, that you may have an alternative source of funding, you can invest there instead of paying your premiums. So you have to think of both the relative things, returns that you're getting, then how much time frame you're paying the premium, whether the policy is covering more than what you will get from the alternative source. So if you say, okay, the policy coverage is 5 lakhs and you're getting 7 lakhs from the alternative source, then it's better to go for the alternative source of funding instead of your medical health insurance premium to be paid. So right amount of premium should be the very important key factor to decide whether you should have health insurance or whether you should be saving in RDs, FDs, SIPs for the purpose of taking care of your health. Then second thing is you have to look at the coverage of diseases. So if you're aiming at a specified disease to be covered in your health insurance policy, you should be sure that your policy covers it. So some people may have medical history in their family, which they want to cover, though they may not be suffering from that disease right now, but they're not unsure about the future. So they may want to cover those type of diseases. So if that disease is not covered in the health insurance policy, then there's no point, right? So coverage of diseases should be of key importance. Also, you need to see the clauses which tell you what is excluded. So there would be certain things which will be definitely excluded. Like if you take example of pre-hospitalization charges, like doctors, you have to visit the doctor, you have to go for checkups, you may have different tests performed. So all these before hospitalization which are done are not covered by your health insurance policy. There would be different policies which are not covering certain type of procedures like dental treatments. They may not have any plastic surgery. So definitions of that also are important, because sometimes what procedure you have done may fall into a different definition and your cover will be lost. Daycare treatments cover should also be taken care of. So are you covered for daycare treatments? If not, then which policy you should opt for? Then disclosures from your side should be also very clearly given. So if you're buying a policy and you're hiding certain facts, then these can go against you when you're going for the claim. So if they are discovered later and the insurance policy feels that you have you have not given them the true and the right correct picture, then they may reject your claim and you may have to pay off the entire hospital bill on your own, which doesn't serve the purpose of paying the health insurance premium, right? So disclosures from your side also should be clear enough, given correctly. And finally, you should read the fine print. So fine print is there as in different clauses of the health insurance policy. So if you're not reading the fine print, you will be in trouble later. So if you are confused, you are not sure of what is in the fine print, or you don't have that much of time, you should go for some advice. Now, this advice definitely should not come directly only from a singular person who is the health insurance agent, because the agent is interested in his commission, and he will definitely be telling you about what health insurance gives the, I mean, you have to pay the highest premium or which is giving him the highest commission. So most of the agents will be pitching or will be trying to sell you the policies which will give them the higher commission. So be careful about that. Take advice from a neutral party who is not interested in any kind of commissions, and they will be the guiding factor for which policy to be bought. Hopefully, these points will help you the next time when you're thinking of buying a health insurance cover. So, health insurance cover does not mean full coverage. Remember, there are policies. There are also people who have actually faced issues with policies. They have bought policies which covered for 10 lakhs, but the claim, when it was cleared up, it was cleared only for 2 lakhs instead of 10 lakhs. So there are people who had to pay 8 lakhs from their pocket also. So be careful about the different things connected to the health insurance policy, and just don't sit back and relax if you buy a health insurance policy. Keep saving in liquid assets also, which can be useful in the time of emergency. So never rely fully and completely on health insurance only for the purpose of your health needs. So hopefully this video helps you. And if you like the points covered in this video, do share this with the people who may find it useful. And just in case you have not joined this journey of Commerce GYAN, do subscribe to the channel so that you get such useful tips ahead also about commerce, about industry, about economics, law, and the changing situations in our country and globally. So hope to see you in the next video of Commerce GYAN. Thank you.